The Code Workshop is a voluntary lunchtime program. My students develop using the Python language, and they use an app for iPad called Pythonista. They can run their code, debug it, do all the testing straight on the iPad. My name is Chris Robinson and I'm a digital technologies teacher. People that are part of the Code Workshop and people that are part of the digital technologies classes have actually published 10 apps to the store.
Mr. Robinson is so helpful. He'll look at it and he'll say, what do you think is wrong? And I'll pick up on a few things and he'll go, what do you think you can do? So it's a lot of individual-based learning where he questions what I'm doing and I have to think about it.
We have to think more for ourselves instead of copying what he writes.
And the thinking's helped me develop, and now I'm not relying on Mr. Robinson as much.
But if Mr. Robinson is busy, he can't help. There are so many students in my class. There's an entire community out in the world doing Python. There's Grok Learning. There's so many modules that I could be using.
On a website called groklearning.com, there's NCSS challenge thing that's on every year, which is really good for helping your Python knowledge.
It seems like a lot when you first start, but after you've got the basis of it, especially with a good teacher, it becomes like a breeze and it's really easy for you to understand.
I'm finding it quite easy to keep picking it up. So I'm just going to keep going with it until, I've made it all the way.
Persistence is one key thing, because there's always going to be problems along the way when you code, so you need to just try again.
You know, if you don't put in a bracket, you don't put in an X for an X position, you mess up your whole code.
A lot of the time you'll get errors which are not purely syntax errors, and it's really good to constantly revise your code to make sure that everything is as you wanted it to be.
You know, resilience is so important, especially when you run into errors. When you're running into errors, you sit there and you're like, well, I could give up right now, but instead I'm going to look through my code, I'm going to see what I'm doing wrong, and I'm going to keep going.
It's always in the back of your head, and eventually you come up with a solution.
I love that, it helps me in maths as well.
When I have a maths assignment, I will find ways to do it in code to help me understand it better.
All of the problem-solving skills and the thinking creatively, I'll use in anything I do later in life. 5 years, 10 years, forever.
No matter what industry you go into, coding is going to be so important, and there are always going to be jobs in that industry. So application of all the processes I'm learning will be used everywhere in 5 years' time.
In the last year, I've learnt many skills in software development and computer science, which I believe will be useful for the rest of my career and my life.
Because it's so popular and there are a lot of students, in the very beginning stages, it's only me being their first go-to person. It takes a little bit of time for the students to develop the confidence and the ability to solve some of their own problems. One of the most rewarding things about running this class and running the Code Workshop is seeing the students progress from not knowing much about code and they don't have many problem-solving skills to the point where they're all helping each other. One of my Year 8 students published an app, and I think having an app on the store when you're in Year 8 is really exciting. The advice I would give to another teacher that's thinking about doing this sort of work is just get started and have a go. The language that I recommend is Python. It's really easy to learn. It's very close to the English language. The students will pick it up in no time.